I still remember the Tuesday I beat my 2-year-old nurse in a squat contest. She laughed so hard she nearly dropped her clipboard. At 86, I'm supposed to be slowing down, but I'm not. I'm still seeing patients every week in the same little clinic I opened in 1974. Because as long as someone needs help standing taller, I'll be there to show them how. Let me tell you about Margaret. She was 79 the first time she walked through my door, leaning hard on a walker, eyes red from crying in the parking lot. "Doctor, Hope," she whispered. "I can't even get off the toilet without my daughter holding me up. I'm terrified I'm going to lose my home." She'd been told by another doctor that a wheelchair was inevitable within a year. Margaret loved dancing slow dances with her late husband, line dances at the senior center, but she hadn't stepped onto a floor without fear in over a decade. The thought of never dancing again broke her heart more than her knees ever could. 6 months later, I watched that same woman drop into a full squat to build block towers with her grandbabies. Giggling like a girl, no surgery, no fancy equipment. Just 6 simple movements she learned from Japanese elders who've been quietly outliving the rest of us for generations. Here's what keeps me awake at night, and what got Harvard researchers scrambling 5 years ago when they put centenarians under brain scanners. Japan has more than 90,000 people over 100 years old. That's not luck. It's not just sushi or green tea. It's 6 everyday movements so ordinary that most of us in America have never noticed them. These aren't gym workouts. They're the way Japanese grandparents get through their day bending, balancing, twisting without thinking twice. And the scans showed something stunning. Their brains looked decades younger. Joints stayed supple. Balance held steady. One movement alone, our number one today, adds an average of 7 healthy years. Yet 90% of us have never heard of it. I'm Dr. Hope. 50 years ago, I delivered my first baby in this town. I've held the hands of more than 40,000 patients, since folks just like you, just like Margaret, who thought aches, stiffness, and fear were the price of getting older. I've learned that getting older doesn't have to mean giving up. It can mean getting wiser, stronger, and yes, even squatting lower than the nurse who's supposed to be helping you. Today, I'm counting down those 6 Japanese movements. From the gentlest warm-up to the 2-minute miracle that rewires your whole body, I'll show you exactly how to do each one, right alongside the real stories of patients who've reclaimed their freedom. By the end, you'll know which movement to try first thing tomorrow, and you'll have the confidence to start. So tell me in the comments, how old are you? And where are you watching from? I read every single one, and I'll answer with a personal tip just for you. Let's get started. Your Stronger Tomorrow begins right now. Let me take you back to a Tuesday morning last spring. Frank shuffled into my exam room wearing the same scuffed boots he'd driven 18-wheelers in for 40 years. 72 years old, 6'2", and built like a barn door. But he looked smaller than I'd ever seen him. He eased himself into the chair, wincing. "Doc," he said, voice low, "I can't walk from the truck stop to the diner without my calves locking up. And my sugar 190 last week. My wife's scared. I'm going to stroke out on the highway." Frank had been my patient for 15 years. I'd watched him haul freight from Portland to Phoenix. Then watched the freight haul him late nights. Gas station food. No sleep. Retirement was supposed to be his reward. But his body was cashing checks it couldn't cover. He told me the worst part wasn't the pain. It was knowing his grandkids called him Grandpa Sit down because he couldn't keep up on the playground anymore. I asked him to stand and walk the 10 feet to the window. 5 steps in, he stopped, hands on his knees, breathing hard. "That's it," he said. "That's all I got." I didn't reach for the prescription pad. Instead, I told him about something I'd seen on a trip to Kyoto years earlier. Elderly men and women gliding through the temple gardens at dawn. Moving so slowly it looked like they were underwater, yet covering ground with a grace I'd never seen in any American mall walker. They call it time Sampo asterisk. It isn't exercise the way we think of it. It's medicine in motion. Frank gave me the side eye. Doc, I'm a trucker, not a monk. Give me 90 days. I said, 10 minutes every morning. If your sugar doesn't budge, I'll write whatever prescription you want. He grumbled, but he showed up. Here's what we did. And here's what I want you to do with me right now. Yes. Stand up. Wherever you are, push your chair back. Find a clear patch of floor or carpet. We're going to take the first step together. Sampo is slow walking with purpose. Half your usual speed. Think of it as Sunday stroll speed. The pace you'd use if you were window shopping with someone you love and had nowhere to be. The secret isn't the distance, it's the rhythm. Watch me. I'm going to take 2 steps while I breathe in through my nose times 1, 2 times. Then hold that breath for 2 more steps. Times 3, 4 times, and now exhale gently through my mouth for 4 full steps times 5, 6, 7, 8 asterisk. That's the pattern. Inhale 2. Hold 2. Exhale 4. It's like a lullaby for your bloodstream. Your eyes stay soft, focused about 6 feet ahead, not glued to your shoes. Let your arms swing easy. Hands relaxed. Fingers loose. And here's the part most folks miss. Every footfall is a conversation with the ground. Start with your heel. Roll through the arch like you're smoothing warm dough. Then push off with your toes. That single roll lights up all 33 joints in each foot. Tiny sensors that send messages straight to your brain saying, we're steady. We're balanced. We're safe. Frank started on the cracked sidewalk outside his trailer park. 10 minutes before breakfast, boots unlaced because his feet felt better barefoot on the cool concrete. Week 1. He texted me times. Feels stupid. Week 3 why calves keep cramping. Asterisk, week 6 times. Walk to the mailbox and back without stopping first time in 2 years. By day 90, his fasting blood sugar sat at 126. No new pills. No low-carb torture. Just 20 minutes of Sampo on the grass behind the VFW hall, where the ground was soft and the sunrise painted everything gold. His wife sent me a video, Frank hoisting his 4-year-old grandson onto his shoulders. Both of them laughing so hard, the phone shook. The science backs every step. Researchers at Kyoto University followed 3,000 people over 60 for a full decade. The ones who practiced daily Sampo had arteries 62% more flexible than the control group. Picture garden hoses instead of old pipes. Their blood pressure dropped an average of 12 points. Systolic 1 and days in 8. Diastolique. That's the same improvement you'd get from a low-dose blood pressure pill, except without the dizziness or the monthly copay. And the balance piece. After just 8 weeks of Sampo, the average participant could stand on one leg 45 seconds longer. 45 seconds doesn't sound like much until you're the one catching yourself on an icy step. Now, a word about treadmills. Don't. The moving belt does the work for you. And your brain knows it. You want real earth underfoot grass, gravel, even packed dirt. If all you've got is carpet, that's fine to start. The uneven surface wakes up those foot sensors and teaches your body to adjust on the fly. I want you to begin tomorrow with 10 minutes. Set your coffee pot the night before. Lace up your shoes, or don't, and step outside while the world is still quiet. Count your steps with your breath. If 10 minutes feels like forever, cut it to 5. The goal isn't perfection, it's consistency. Frank still walks every morning. He traded the sidewalk for the high school track so he could feel the springy surface under his feet. Last month, he sent me a picture, him and his grandson racing the last 20 yards to the bleachers. Frank let the boy win. But barely. Slow walking isn't about getting somewhere fast. It's about arriving at tomorrow stronger than you were today. And speaking of stronger, once your legs remember how to move without complaining, we're going to wake up the rest of you with a 3-minute routine that half of Japan does before their rice is even steamed. Stay with me. I still have the voicemail. Evelyn left me at 6:47 one morning. her voice bright and breathless like she'd just won the lottery. "Doctor. Hope," she said. I got out of bed and realized I didn't groan. Not once. I'm 68 years old, and I feel like I stole somebody's 20s. Let me paint the before picture for you. Evelyn had been a librarian for 42 years, stooping to shelve heavy atlases, twisting to reach the top cart, hauling boxes of donated books up narrow stairs. By the time she retired, her spine had filed its own complaint. Every sunrise was a negotiation roll to the edge of the mattress. Wait for the stab in her lower back to settle. Plant her feet. Push up with both hands on the nightstand. Then stand there for a full minute until the world stops spinning. She timed it once 20 minutes from eyes open to first sip of coffee. She laughed about it with her friends. Called it her morning resurrection. But I could hear the defeat underneath. One Tuesday, she came in clutching a heating pad like a security blanket. "I'm tired of starting my day in pain," she told me. "If this is what 68 feels like, I'm not sure I want 69. I didn't hand her a pill bottle. I handed her a 3-minute miracle that's been waking up Japan since 1928. At exactly 6:30 every morning. Radios across Japan crackle to life with the same cheerful piano tune, grandmothers in kimonos, salarymen in suits. The school kids in uniforms, they all stop whatever they're doing and move together for 3 minutes and 15 seconds. No gym. No mat. No spandex. They call it times Ragio Taiso, * radio calisthenics. And it's the gentlest wake-up call your joints will ever receive. I showed Evelyn the routine right there in my office. Shoes off. Sleeves rolled up. Stand up with me, I said. She eyed me like I'd asked her to run a marathon. But she did it. First movement. Arms float up overhead on a slow inhale. Like you're lifting the sky. Then exhale, and let them drift down. Soft as feathers. We did it 4 times. I watched her shoulders drop an inch with every breath. Second, gentle shoulder circles. 8 forward. 8 back. Imagine you're stirring warm honey. I told her. She smiled at that. Third, torso twists. But not the jerky kind you see in aerobics classes. More like a ribbon, caught in a breeze slow. Continuous. No endpoint. Just flow. We finished with a light march in place. Knees lifting just enough to wake the hips. Then a few shallow squats that barely bent the knees. 3 minutes. 15 seconds. Evelyn's eyebrows shot up. That's it. That's it. I said, do it tomorrow before your coffee. And the day after, 21 days? If your back still hates mornings, we'll talk ibuprofen. She texted me on day 4 times, forgot to set the heating pad last night. Didn't miss it. Asterisk day 10 times, stood up to answer the phone without thinking, scared myself times day 21. That voicemail, the science is almost too beautiful to believe. Researchers at Osaka Medical College followed 8,000 people, over 60 who did Ragio Taiso every morning. Compared to folks who skipped it, they fell 40% less often, reported 55% less chronic back pain, and kept nearly full range of motion in their shoulders and hips clear into their 80s. Why? Because these aren't static stretches that tug and tear. They're times dynamic, times constant. Gentle motion that pumps synovial fluid through every joint, like oil through an engine. That fluid is your body's natural shock absorber, and it thickens overnight. 3 minutes of flowing movement thins it back to syrup. So your joints glide instead of grind. There's a timing trick. 2. Right after you wake, your body releases a surge of growth hormone, the same stuff that repaired you when you were 20. Do Ragio Taiso in that window, and you double the repair crew. Miss it, and the hormone fades by breakfast. I want you to try it tomorrow. No equipment. No excuses. Stand wherever you are when your eyes open. Bedroom. Kitchen. Hallway. If you've got a phone, search Ragio Taiso English and follow along with the millions of Japanese grandmas who've been doing this since before color TV. Or just copy me now. Arms up, inhale. Down, exhale. 4 times. Shoulders forward, slow circles. Like tracing the rim of a coffee cup. 8. Reverse. 8. Torso ribbon twist right. Flow center. Twist left. No rush. March in place, knees soft. Hips happy. Shallow squats. Bend just enough to feel your thighs wake up. 3 minutes. That's less time than it takes to boil an egg. Evelyn still does it every morning. She bought a little Bluetooth speaker for her bathroom and plays the piano tune while she brushes her teeth. Her husband joined in, says, "It's the only exercise he's ever stuck with because it doesn't feel like exercise." Last week, she sent me a photo, her and 3 neighbors in pajamas. Arms overhead in perfect sync on their driveways at sunrise. She captioned it, "Asterisk. The morning resurrection is officially canceled." Your joints don't need a gym membership. They need 3 minutes of kindness before the day begins. And once your spine remembers how good gentle feels, we're going to teach your hips, a position most Americans lost somewhere between high chairs and office chairs. It's the squat your kindergarten teacher never warned you about, but it might just save your independence. Stay with me. Let me pull back the curtain on why 3 minutes of gentle swaying can feel like a miracle, and why the numbers behind it are so solid that even the skeptics in my profession can't argue. Picture a research team in Osaka. White coats and clipboards. Following 8,000 seniors for years. Half of them started every morning with Ragio Taiso, just those flowing arm reaches, shoulder circles, and soft torso ribbons we practiced together. The other half kept their usual routines: coffee, newspaper, maybe a stiff shuffle to the mailbox. The difference after a decade was night and day. The Ragio Taiso group fell 40% less often. Think about that. 40% fewer midnight stumbles to the bathroom. 40% fewer cracked hips on the kitchen tile. They also reported 55% less chronic back pain. Not a little better. Over half the ache simply vanished. And when the doctors measured shoulder and hip motion, those simple ranges that decide whether you can reach the top shelf or pull on a sweater, the Ragio group kept nearly full movement, well into their 80s. The control group, most, were reaching for grab bars by 75. Now, I know what you're wondering. How can something so soft do something so strong? The answer lives in the quiet spaces inside your joints. Every joint in your body: knees, hips, spine. The shoulders is wrapped in a tiny capsule filled with a golden fluid called synovial fluid. Think of it as the oil in your car's engine. When you're young, it's thin and slippery, letting bones glide past each other without a whisper. But overnight, while you sleep, that fluid thickens, almost like cold honey. That's why your first steps in the morning feel like walking on gravel. Static stretching, holding a pose until it hurts, can actually squeeze that thick fluid out, leaving your joints dry for hours. But dynamic, flowing movement, like Ragio Taiso, does the opposite. It gently pumps the capsule, warming and thinning the fluid so it coats every surface again. Studies show this kind of motion increases synovial fluid circulation by 30% in under 5 minutes. 30% more lubrication means 30% less grinding, 30% less pain, 30% more freedom. There's another timing secret most doctors never mention. When you first wake up, your body releases a surge of growth hormone, same hormone that rebuilt your muscles after playground, scraped knees when you were 6. It peaks within the first hour of rising, then fades fast. Do Ragio Taiso in that window, and you're greeting the repair crew while they're still on the job. The gentle motion doubles the amount of tissue they can mend before breakfast. Miss the window, and the crew clocks out. I saw this play out with Evelyn in real time. On day 10, she brought in a little notebook. She's a librarian. Of course she did. She'd been charting her morning stiffness minutes. Day 120. Day 3. 15. Day 7, 8. Day 14, 0. She underlined the 0 3 times and drew a smiley face. The synovial fluid was flowing. The growth hormone was working overtime. and her spine was finally getting the memo that mornings could be kind. Let me be clear. This isn't about turning you into a gymnast. It's about giving your body the same gentle wake-up call it's been craving since the day you traded tree climbing for desk sitting. 3 minutes. Less time than it takes to find your glasses. I want you to promise me something. Tomorrow. Before you pour your coffee, before you check your phone, stand up and flow through those 3 minutes. If you forget the exact order, just remember, arms up like you're hugging the sky, shoulders circling like you're stirring soup, torso swaying like a willow in the breeze. Your joints will thank you with every painless step. And once your spine is humming along, we're going to introduce your hips to a position they haven't seen since kindergarten, one that keeps Japanese gardeners squatting comfortably for hours and might just keep you out of the surgeon's office. Stay with me. Let's bring this to life right now. Together. The way Evelyn and I did in my office that first morning. I'm going to guide you through the exact 3-minute flow that turned her 20-minute unfolding ritual into a single, painless hop out of bed. No mat. No shoes. No audience. Just you. To me. And the quiet promise your body's been waiting to hear. Stand up wherever you are. If you're in your kitchen, push the chair in. Living room. Clear a little space by the couch. Bedroom. Perfect. Do it before your feet. Even hit the floor tomorrow. I'll count us in. Nice and slow. The way the piano does on Japanese radio at 6:30 sharp. We start with the sky reach. Feet hip-width apart. Knees soft, like you're standing on warm sand. On my count, inhale through your nose and let your arms float up. Fingertips brushing the air above your head. Palms facing each other. Don't force it. Just let them rise like balloons on a breeze. 1, 2, 3, and now exhale through your mouth, letting your arms drift down, soft as falling leaves. Feel your ribcage open on the way up, then settle on the way down. That's 1. We'll do 4 total. Ready. Inhale, arms up. Gentle, like you're lifting something precious. Hold the breath for just a heartbeat. Feel your chest expand. Exhale, arms down. Shoulders melting away from your ears. Again. Inhale, up, exhale, down. 1 more. Inhale, reach a little higher this time. Like you're touching the first light of morning. Exhale, let it all go. Beautiful. You just bathed your spine in fresh oxygen and told every vertebra, we're awake and we're kind today. Now the shoulder rolls. Drop your arms loose at your sides. Imagine your shoulders are carrying little sacks of yesterday's tension. We're going to roll them off. On my count, lift your shoulders up toward your ears, squeeze for a second, then roll them back and down, like you're drawing circles on the wall behind you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. Now reverse. Lift up. Roll forward. And down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Feel that. The tops of your shoulders just dropped an inch. That's the weight of 40 years of shelving books sliding off Evelyn's back. 1 circle at a time. Last piece. The torso ribbon twist. Hands on your hips. Elbows wide. Feet rooted. Picture a ribbon tied around your waist, fluttering in a soft wind. On my count, let your upper body sway to the right slow. No rush, until you feel a gentle stretch along your left side. Don't crank it, just flow. Hold for a breath, and now ribbon back through center and over to the left. Same easy stretch on the right side. Back to center. That's 1. We'll flow through 8. Smooth as silk. Right, center, left, center. Right, center, left, center. Keep your hips still. Let the twist come from your waist. Not your arms. Imagine you're wringing out a warm towel. Gentle. No yerking. 4 more. right, center, left, center. You're doing it. Your spine is waking up, segment by segment, like lights flicking on down a quiet hallway. Let's finish with a bonus that isn't in the official radio routine but has become my patient's secret weapon, the happy sigh. On your next exhale, let out a soft ha through your mouth, like you're fogging a window. Do it with me, ha. One more ha. Feel your whole upper body settle. That's your nervous system saying thank you. 3 minutes. 15 seconds from start to finish. Less time than it takes to find your keys. Evelyn timed it with her kitchen clock, the first week. 3-1-4. Saniar. Saniwu. By day 10, she stopped timing because she didn't want it to end. Here's your homework. And I mean it gently tomorrow morning. Before coffee. Before phone. Before the world rushes in. Give yourself these 3 minutes. Set your alarm for the same time every day. Your body loves routine the way gardens love sunrise. If you share a bed and don't want to wake your partner, step into the hallway or the bathroom. Close the door. Face the mirror. And let the piano in your head play. Or pull up the English version on your phone. There's a sweet older gentleman who counts in a calm voice. My patients call him Grandpa Radio. If mornings are impossible, do it after lunch. The synovial fluid still needs stirring. And the motion still works. The only rule is consistency. Not perfection. Miss a day, smile, and start again tomorrow. Your joints don't keep score. They keep gratitude. Evelyn now leads a little Raggio Taiso club on her cul-de-sac. 4 neighbors. All in robes. Arms reaching for the sky as the sprinklers hiss. She told me the other day, I used to dread mornings. Now I can't wait to see what my body will feel like when it remembers it's allowed to move. And once your upper body is loose and happy, we're going to ask your hips to remember a position they haven't visited since you were 5 years old. One that keeps Japanese grandmothers squatting comfortably in gardens for hours and might just keep you from ever needing a walker. Stay with me. I want to make this so simple that even on your busiest morning, you'll smile and think, asterisk, I've got 3 minutes for me. Asterisk. Because that's what Raggio Taiso is, a love note to your body before the day starts making demands. Here's your foolproof plan. The same one I scribble on index cards for every patient who says, Doc, you'll forget. Step 1 tonight. Before your head hits the pillow. Pick up your phone. Open your alarm app. Set 1 for 6. 30 a.m. Or whatever time your feet usually touch the floor. Label it something that makes you grin. Evelyn says times morning hug. Asterisk. Mine says times wake and flow. Asterisk. Whatever warms your heart. Turn the volume low. You don't need a bugle. Just a gentle nudge. Step 2. Lay out tomorrow. You a gift. I want your pajamas to be your workout gear. Not changing. No hunting for socks. The softer the cotton, the better. Think of it as your body's favorite blanket, giving it permission to move. If you sleep in a nightgown, that works too. The only rule is comfort. Step 3. Enlist a friend who never sleeps. If you have Alexa, Google, or Siri, teach them a new trick. Say, play Raggio Taiso English version. They'll find the free 3-minute track on YouTube. Cheerful piano, calm voice, counting in a soothing rhythm. Bookmark it tonight, so tomorrow all you do is tap play. No searching. No decisions. If you don't have a smart speaker, pull the video up on your phone and prop it on the nightstand. The screen can stay dark. The sound is all you need. Now, here's the magic part. Tomorrow when that alarm sings, don't think. Just roll to the edge of the bed. Plant your feet. And stand. The floor might be cool, let it wake your souls. Take 1 deep breath. Hit play. And let the piano lead. Arms up on the first note. Down on the exhale. Shoulders circle while the coffee maker's still yawning. Torso ribbons while the sun peeks through the blinds. 3 minutes later, the music fades. And you're already dressed for the day and victory. I promise the first week feels a little silly. You might giggle at yourself in the mirror. That's okay. Evelyn did too. She told me she felt like a kid playing follow the leader with an invisible friend. By day 10, the giggle turned into a grin because her back stopped arguing. By day 21, she stopped setting the alarm. She woke up naturally at 6:28, body already humming for its morning dance. If 6:30 is impossible, maybe you're a night shift nurse or a grandparent on dawn patrol with toddlers. Slide the routine to whenever your first quiet moment appears. After lunch, before dinner, even while the bathtub fills. The joints don't care about the clock. They care about the flow. The only non-negotiable is doing it before life gets loud. Let me share a secret from my clinic. The patients who stick with Ragio Taiso aren't the disciplined ones. They're the ones who make it playful. Frank, our trucker from earlier, does his. While the coffee drips, he calls it percolator calisthenics. Another patient, Rose, age 76, pairs it with her cat's breakfast. Every arm reach is a here kitty stretch. Find your joy hook. Tape a photo of your grandkids to the bathroom mirror and reach for their smiles. Hum your wedding song while you twist. Turn duty into delight. And if you share a bedroom and worry about waking your partner, here's my favorite trick. Keep a folded towel by the bed. Step onto it, barefoot soft. Quiet. Instant yoga mat. Or slip into the hallway and close the door. 3 minutes of privacy is cheaper than marriage counseling. I want you to text yourself right now. Yes. Open your messages. Type your own name. And send this times tomorrow at 6:30. I gift myself 3 minutes of flow. No excuses. All love. Asterisk. Seeing it in your inbox tomorrow will feel like a note from a friend who believes in you. Evelyn's neighborhood club started with one text. Time sunrise, stretch tomorrow, bring coffee. 4 pajama-clad women later. They're the happiest block on the street. One of them, Ruth, confessed she'd been skipping her blood pressure pills some mornings because her numbers dropped so much. I adjusted her dose. Of course, always check with your doctor. But the point is, 3 minutes snowballed into confidence, community, and better health. Your body is not a machine to be fixed. It's a garden to be tended, and Ragio Taiso is the gentlest watering can you'll ever hold. Now, once your upper body is loose and your spine is singing, we're going to invite your hips to remember a position they loved when you were 5 before chairs taught them to forget. It's the deep squat that keeps Japanese grandmothers gardening for hours, without a twinge, and it might just keep you dancing at your grandchild's wedding. Stay with me. I can still hear the creak of Harold's knees when he walked into my office. That October afternoon, leaning on a cane, he'd carved himself from a walnut branch. 81 years old. Retired carpenter. Hands like sandpaper and a voice like gravel soaked in honey. He eased into the chair, wincing, and slid a thick folder across my desk. Surgeon says hip replacement, or wheelchair, by Christmas. He said, I built houses for 50 years. Doc, I'm not ready to be carried out of my own. Harold had been sawing, hammering, and squatting under floor joists since before I was born. His hips had carried him up ladders, down trenches, through blizzards and heat waves. But the last decade of recliners and remote controls had quietly stolen the one position his body was born for: the deep, restful squat. He couldn't lower himself to tie his boots without both hands on the bedpost. Couldn't pick up a dropped nail without groaning loud enough for the neighbors to hear. The surgeon's x-ray showed bone grinding on bone. The joint space narrowed to a whisper. 4 months. The specialist had said. Then we cut. Harold looked me in the eye. I don't want titanium. I want my hips back. I didn't argue with the x-ray. I argued with the timeline. Give me 4 months. I told him, micro squats, 5 minutes a day, broken into bites. If the pain doesn't budge, I'll sign the surgical consent myself. He laughed, a sound like sawdust in the wind. You're crazier than my wife thinks? But he showed up, We started where his hips would allow back against the kitchen wall, feet shoulder width. A rolled towel under his heels because his ankles had forgotten how to bend. I stood beside him, 86, and squatting lower than he could dream. Lower just until you feel the stretch. I said, no heroics. 30 seconds. Up. Rest. 30 seconds. Up. 5 times. 3 times a day. While the coffee brewed. While the news played. While the dogs circled for dinner. Week 2. We ditched the towel. His heels kissed the floor for the first time in 20 years. Week 4. He squatted to water the tomatoes without holding the railing. Week 8. He sent me a photo of him in the garden. Flat-footed. Knees wide. Pruning roses like he was 25. The caption read, "Surgeon called. Canceled the cut. Harold's hips didn't grow new cartilage. Science hasn't gifted us that yet. But the daily micro-squats did 3 quiet miracles. First, they reopened the hip capsule, that tight sleeve of tissue that shrinks when you live in chairs. Second, they woke up the pelvic floor, muscles that control everything from balance to bladder. Third, they reminded his brain that lowering and rising is still allowed. Still safe. Still his. 4 months to the day. Harold walked in without the cane. He dropped into a full squat, heels flat, back straight, hands on his knees, and held it while he tied a perfect bowline knot in the drawstring of his sweatpants. Show off. I teased. He grinned. Built a deck last weekend. Squatted the whole time. Neighbors thought I was praying. The surgeon's follow-up x-ray still showed the narrow joint space, but the pain score had fallen from 8 to 2. Harold asked if he could keep the cane as a souvenir. I told him to whittle it into a walking stick for his grandson instead. I want you to meet Harold where he started gentle. Patient. Kind to the body you have today. Tomorrow, find a sturdy wall. Roll a towel if your heels lift. Lower. Just until you feel the conversation begin, between hips and knees. Hold for 10 breaths. Rise. Rest. Repeat whenever the moment finds you while the kettle whistles. While the commercials play, while your grandchild hunts for a lost Lego under the couch, 5 one-minute squats scattered through the day beat 1 5-minute struggle. Your chair didn't mean to rob you. It was trying to help. But every time you sit, you teach your hips to forget. Every time you squat, you remind them who's boss. Harold still squats every morning, full depth now. No wall. No towel. He says it's his way of thanking the hips that carried him through a lifetime of building. Last month he sent me a picture of him and his great-granddaughter, both in overalls, squatting side by side to plant tulips. The caption times, "Roots run deep when you can still reach the dirt." Once your hips remember their birthright, we're going to give your balance a prescription. Japanese doctors write like, it's penicillin 1 minute, twice a day. And watch the falls disappear. Stay with me. Let me take you to Tokyo, where a team of researchers spent 12 quiet years watching 5,000 seniors live their ordinary lives. Half of them could still lower themselves into a deep squat, heels flat, knees wide, back relaxed, and stay there for at least 2 minutes. The other half needed hands, chairs, or couldn't manage it at all. The difference wasn't just in their hips, it was in their futures. The squatters were 70% less likely to need a nursing home. 70%. That means 7 out of 10 stayed in their own bedrooms, cooked in their own kitchens, and tucked their own grandkids in at night. The non-squatters. Most crossed the threshold of assisted living an average of 9 years sooner, 9 extra years of independence. Measured not in dollars or drugs, but in the simple act of lowering and rising without help. Now, I know hips get all the headlines, but the benefits ripple everywhere. Cultures where deep squatting never went out of style: Japan. Parts of India. Rural Africa see 80% fewer hip replacements. 80%. Surgeons there scratch their heads when American tourists limp in. Because the joint space in a lifelong squatter stays open, like a well-oiled gate. The capsule around the hip never shrinks into a tight fist the way ours does after decades of recliners and car seats. And the back pain 60% less. When you squat properly, your spine hangs in its natural S-curve. Discs bathed in fluid. Pressure spread evenly from tailbone to skull. Sitting collapses that curve into a C, squeezing the lower discs until they protest every time you stand. Squatting is the reset button your chair forgot to install. But the quiet hero no one talks about is the pelvic floor, those hidden muscles that cradle your bladder, bowels, and dignity. Every time you lower into a squat, those muscles lengthen, then gently contract as you rise. It's like a daily Kegel you don't have to think about. Women who squat regularly leak less, laugh louder, and sneeze without crossing their legs. Men stand at the urinal with confidence instead of dread. Harold told me after 2 months. Doc, I haven't had to map the bathroom locations at the hardware store anymore. He said it with a grin. But I heard the relief of a man who'd reclaimed a piece of himself. I want you to feel this in your own body right now. Stand up. Find a doorway or a countertop. Lower just until your thighs are parallel to the floor, no deeper than feels kind. Notice how your weight settles into your heels, how your knees track over your toes, how your lower back lengthens instead of rounding. That's the conversation your skeleton was born to have with gravity. Hold it for 3 slow breaths. Rise. Do it again. That's 1 micro squat. 5 of those scattered through your day is all Harold needed to rewrite his ending. The Tokyo study didn't prescribe fancy equipment or gym memberships. They simply asked people to squat while brushing teeth, watering plants, waiting for the microwave. 5 one-minute visits to the floor beat 1 5-minute struggle. Frequency trumps duration every time. Your tissues adapt to what you ask of them often, not what you ask once in a while. Harold's surgeon called it spontaneous improvement. I call it biology. Doing what it was designed to do. When we stop getting in its way, the joint didn't grow new cartilage, but the space around it opened. The muscles around it strengthened, and the nerves around it calmed. Pain dropped from 8 to 2 on a 10 scale, and the scalpel stayed in the drawer. Your hips are not broken. They're just asleep in a chair-shaped cradle. Wake them gently, daily, and they'll carry you longer than any replacement part money can buy. And once your hips remember their strength, we're going to give your balance a daily checkup that Japanese doctors hand out like candy 1 minute, twice a day, and watch the emergency room visits vanish. Stay with me. Let's walk this path together, step by gentle step, the same way Harold and I did. I'm not asking you to drop into a perfect squat today. I'm asking you to meet your body where it is. Give it a kind voice, and watch it answer back, with strength you thought was gone forever. We begin in week 1 with the safest, sweetest version of the squat your hips have ever known. Find a blank wall in your house kitchen, hallway, bedroom, doesn't matter. Kick off your shoes, bare feet or socks, whatever feels like home. Roll up a bath towel into a snug little log and place it on the floor about 12 inches from the wall. Stand with your back, lightly touching the wall. Feet shoulder-width apart. Toes pointed slightly outward. The towel goes under your heels if they lift when you bend. Most of us need it at first because our ankles have been napping in sneakers for decades. Now lower yourself slowly, sliding your back down the wall like you're sitting into an invisible chair. Stop the moment you feel your thighs parallel to the floor or your knees start to complain, whichever comes first. Don't push through pain. Pain is just your body whispering. Not yet. Hold there for 30 seconds. That's 10 slow breaths. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Soft and steady. Feel your weight sink into your heels. Your knees tracking over your second toes. Your tailbone reaching toward the floor. When 30 seconds is up, press through your heels and stand tall. Rest for a minute. Repeat twice more. That's your morning set. Do the same in the afternoon and evening. 3 gentle visits to the wall. 90 seconds total. Less time than waiting for the microwave. Harold started here. His first day, he managed 15 seconds before his thighs trembled. He laughed at himself. Called it wobbly jelly legs. But by day 4, he hit 30 without thinking. The wall was his training wheels. The towel, his bridge from stiff to supple. Week 2. We play a little game. Same wall. Same towel. But now we add a tiny pulse lower to your stopping point. Hold 3 breaths. Then rise just 2 inches and lower again. Like a gentle wave. 5 pulses per set. You're teaching your muscles memory. Not marathon. Harold texted me a video, him pulsing while the coffee brewed. Steam curling around his knees. Doc. He wrote. I'm squatting and caffeinating. Multitasking like a boss. Week 3. Say goodbye to the towel. Your heels will kiss the floor now. Or come darn close. The wall stays. But your hands can float forward for balance. Palms open, like you're receiving a gift. Hold 45 seconds. Rest. Repeat. Harold ditched the wall entirely. By the end of this week, he squatted to tie his boots without touching anything. His wife walked in, saw him, and dropped her grocery bags in shock. Week 4 is where the magic sneaks into daily life. We leave the wall behind and scatter 5 one-minute garden squats through your day. Watering the plants. Squat while the can fills. Brushing teeth. Squat at the sink. Waiting for the toast. Squat and butter the air. Phone ringing. Answer in a squat. Each minute is a love note to your hips. A reminder that lowering and rising is still yours to claim. Harold kept a little tally on his fridge. 5 check marks by dinner meant he'd won the day. He started squatting to play cars with his great-grandson. Flat-footed. Steady as a table. The boy climbed onto his back like a jungle gym. Harold didn't flinch. Here's your progression roadmap. Gentle as sunrise. Asterisk. Asterisk. Days 1-7. Asterisk. Asterisk. Wall squat. Towel under heels. 330 seconds. Asterisk, asterisk. Days 8-14, asterisk, asterisk. Wall squat. Notovel. 3 times 40 seconds, with 5 tiny pulses. Asterisk, asterisk days 15, 21, asterisk, asterisk, free squat, no wall. Hands forward. 340 seconds. Asterisk, asterisk. Days 22-28, asterisk, asterisk, 5 times 1-minute garden squats anywhere. Life finds you. Miss a day, smile. Don't scold. Your body keeps a gratitude journal, not a guilt ledger. Harold missed 3 days when his granddaughter had the flu. He was on diaper duty. He picked up on day 4 like he'd never left. Consistency. Not perfection. Film yourself once a week, 30 seconds on your phone. Watch the change. Your knees will drift outward. Your back will lengthen. Your face will relax. Harold's month 4 video shows him squatting to plant tulips. Rising without hands. Dirt under his nails and joy in his eyes. He sent it with 1-line times. Tell the surgeon his scalpel's lonely. Your hips are listening. Speak to them daily. Kindly. And they'll carry you to gardens. Grandkids. And sunsets you haven't met yet. And once your hips are steady, we're going to give your balance a daily tune-up. So simple Japanese doctors prescribe it like vitamins 1 minute. Twice a day. And watch the fear of falling fade away. Stay with me. I want to tell you something I've never said. In 50 years of medicine, something I whisper to my patients when the door is closed and the nurse is out of earshot, chairs are the silent thief of mobility. They didn't mean to be. They were invented to help. To rest weary legs after a day in the fields. But somewhere between the first rocking chair and the electric recliner, we handed over our birthright. We taught our hips to fold, our ankles to stiffen, our spines to slump. And the bill comes due in our 70s. when the simple act of rising from the couch feels like climbing a mountain. Every time you choose a squat instead of a seat, you make a deposit in your independence bank. It's not a metaphor. It's biology. Each gentle lowering stretches the tissue around your hips. Each rise strengthens the muscles that catch you when you stumble. 5 one-minute squats a day. Compound like money in a savings account, quiet, steady. And before you know it, you're rich in freedom. Harold used to joke that his recliner was the best investment I ever made. Then he realized it was costing him everything. The day he squatted to tie his great-grandson's shoe without touching the bedpost, he marched that recliner to the curb with a free sign. A neighbor snatched it up. Harold hasn't sat in anything but a dining chair since. He says squatting to eat his oatmeal keeps his hips honest. I see it every week in my office. The patients who still squat, whether to garden, play with grandkids, or just rest while waiting for the kettle, are the ones dancing at weddings, traveling without walkers, laughing without fear of leaks. The ones who live in chairs, they live in waiting rooms, measuring life in doctor visits and pill schedules. Your body was not designed to be parked. It was designed to fold and unfold, to lower and lift, to rest in positions that keep every joint bathed in fluid and every muscle ready. The deep squat is the original recliner. Your thighs, the armrests, your heels, the footstool, your spine. The perfect S-curve nature intended. Chairs stole that from us. One cushion at a time. But here's the good news. The bank is still open. You can start depositing today. 1 squat while the coffee drips. 1 while the dog circles for his leash. 1 while you brush your teeth. 5 minutes total, scattered like breadcrumbs through your day. Your hips don't need a gym membership. They need a conversation. Speak to them daily, and they'll speak back with strength. I'm not asking you to give up your favorite chair. I'm asking you to give it a rival. Let the squat be the place you rest when your legs are tired. The way Japanese grandmothers rest in gardens? Knees wide, backs relaxed, faces to the sun. Let it be the position you choose when you play on the floor with a child. When you sort laundry, when you wait for the microwave, every squat is a vote for the body you want tomorrow. Harold's great-granddaughter now asks him to squat so she can climb onto his back for piggyback rides. He obeys, steady as an oak. She calls it Grandpa's magic chair. He winks at me when he tells the story. Best seat in the house. He says, and it's always open. Your independence isn't measured in years left on a calendar. It's measured in moments you can still claim, tying a shoe, hugging a grandchild at their level, rising from the floor with your own 2 legs. Every squat is a deposit. Every day you choose it. You grow the balance. And once your hips are strong and your independence account is growing, we're going to add a balance check. So simple, it fits in your toothbrush routine 1 minute, twice a day. And watch the fear of falling fade like morning mist. Stay with me. Let me tell you about the morning. Linda almost missed her grandson's first school play. She was 70. Standing at the curb outside the auditorium, purse clutched tight, staring at the 6-inch drop like it was the Grand Canyon. Her daughter reached for her arm, but Linda froze. I can't, she whispered. If I step wrong, I'm on the ground. She'd fallen twice in the past year, once in the grocery store, once on her own porch, and the fear had grown roots. That night, she called me, voice shaking. Doctor. Hope. I'm becoming a prisoner in my own body. I didn't give her a lecture on bone density. I gave her a prescription. Japanese doctors write the way we write blood pressure pills times acetate asterisk. 1 minute. Twice daily. Stand on 1 leg. That's it. Linda laughed until she realized I was serious. I'll look ridiculous. She said, you'll look steady. I replied, start tomorrow while you brush your teeth. She did. Toothbrush in one hand, the other gripping the bathroom counter. She lifted her left foot an inch off the floor. 10 seconds. Wobble. Giggle. Down. Right foot. 8 seconds. I felt like a flamingo with stage fright. She told me later, but she kept at it. Morning brush. Evening floss, 2 minutes total. No extra time carved from her day. Week 2. She let go of the counter. Week 4. She stared at the tile grout 10 feet away instead of her toes. Week 6. She closed her eyes for 5 seconds while the water ran. By month 3, she was hiking the wooded trail behind her daughter's house. Grandkids racing ahead. No hand-holding required. She sent me a photo, Linda mid-stride on a rocky path. 1 foot lifted in playful balance. Arms wide like she could fly. Caption: times from curb to conqueror. The science is almost too good to be true. Researchers in Fukuoka followed 12,000 people over 60 for 15 years. The ones who practiced daily single-leg standing had 75% fewer trips to the emergency room for falls. 75%. Their brain scans showed thicker gray matter in the cerebellum, the balance command center, making their reflexes behave like people 20 years younger. And here's the kicker: the ability to stand on one leg for 30 seconds predicted longevity better than cholesterol, better than blood pressure, better than family history. Why? Because balance isn't just muscles. It's a conversation between your eyes, your inner ears, and 1,000 tiny sensors in your feet and ankles. Every time you lift 1 foot, your brain runs 1,000 micro-corrections per second. Those corrections build new wiring, sharpen reflexes, and teach your body to catch itself before it falls. It's prevention you can feel. Here's your prescription, and I want you to fill it tonight. Tomorrow morning, grab your toothbrush. Stand at the sink. Lift 1 foot, 1 inch off the floor, barely a hover. Find a spot on the wall 10 feet away and lock your eyes on it. Count your breaths. Not seconds. Start with 5 breaths per leg. That's about 20 seconds. Switch. Morning and night. That's your 2-minute dose. No gym. No shoes. No audience. Week 2. Let go of the counter. Week 3. Close your eyes for 3 breaths. Remove the visual crutch and let your inner ears take over. Week 4. Turn your head slowly side to side while balancing like you're saying no to gravity. Week 5. Fold a towel for an uneven surface. Your brain loves the challenge. Linda added a twist. She balances on 1 leg while reciting her grocery list. Milk. Eggs. Courage. She says, if you wobble, smile. Wobble means work. Falling means you're close to the edge of growth. Keep a chair nearby for the first week. But don't lean unless you must. Your body learns faster when it trusts. You'll catch it. Linda now leads a balance club at the senior center 10 minutes every Wednesday. Everyone brushing imaginary teeth. Giggling like kids. Last month she hiked 3 miles with her grandkids and didn't once reach for a hand. She told me, I used to pray not to fall. Now I pray for the next adventure. Your balance is not a gift you're born with or without. It's a skill you feed daily. 1 lifted foot at a time. And once your legs know they won't betray you, we're going to show your brain a movement that lights up both hemispheres at once, 20 trips to the floor a day. Disguised as ordinary life. Stay with me. Let me tell you about the afternoon. Robert forgot his own granddaughter's name. He was 74. Sitting on the porch swing. Watching her chase bubbles across the lawn, she ran up, cheeks pink, and asked, Grandpa, will you push me higher? He opened his mouth and nothing came. The word Emma was gone. He fumbled, called her sweetie, and felt the panic rise like bile. That night he called me, voice cracking. Doc. My mind's slipping. I'm scared I'm losing them all. Robert had been sharp as a tack, retired engineer. Still fixing neighbors' lawnmowers. Reciting baseball stats from the 60 seconds. But the last year had brought fog keys in the fridge, stove left on. Names. vanishing mid-sentence. His daughter had scheduled a memory clinic. He wanted one last chance before the label. I didn't send him to a neurologist. I sent him to the floor. In Japan, the average person over 70 rises from the floor 20 times a day, meals on low tables. Tea on tatami. TV from a cushion. Each transition is a full-body puzzle kneel. Shift. Sit. Lunge. Stand. No hands if you can help it. I told Robert, 20 trips to the floor. No gym, just life. He started in his living room. Carpet soft under knees. First day, hands on the coffee table. Lower to knees. Sit back on heels. Rock forward. Push up with a grunt. 1 rep. He laughed at how winded he was. I built bridges. Doc. Now I can't get off my own rug. But he kept count on a sticky note by the TV. Week 1. 5 transitions. Hands heavy on furniture. Week 2, 10. Hands lighter. Week 3. 15. Hands hovering. Week 4, 20. Hands free. Flowing like water. He sat on the floor to read the paper. To eat lunch. To play blocks with Emma. Each rise was a victory lap. By day 30, something shifted. He called Emma by name without thinking. Remembered the grocery list. Told his son-in-law the exact torque specs for a 72 Chevy. The fog didn't vanish overnight, but it lifted like morning mist over the lake. His daughter canceled the memory clinic. Emma started calling the living room rug Grandpa's gym. The science is stunning. Researchers at Tsukuba University followed 10,000 seniors. The ones who sat on the floor daily had 40% stronger legs and 50% greater hip range than chair dwellers. But the real surprise, their cognitive tests scored 15% higher. Why every floor transition lights up the prefrontal cortex. The brain's CEO, you plan the sequence. Balance the shift. Coordinate the push. It's a crossword puzzle for your neurons. Solved with your body. Here's your roadmap. Gentle and steady. Start tonight. Clear a soft spot rug. Carpet. Yoga mat. Keep a low ottoman or sturdy chair nearby as training wheels. Asterisk, asterisk. Day 1, 7, asterisk, asterisk. Hands on the ottoman. Lower to both knees. Sit back on heels. Rock forward. Push up through one leg. 5 times. Scattered through the day after breakfast. Before dinner. During commercials. Asterisk, asterisk. Day 8-14. Asterisk, asterisk. Hands hover an inch above the ottoman. 10 transitions. Feel the burn in your thighs. The stretch in your hips. The focus in your mind. Asterisk, asterisk. Day 15, 21 asterisk, asterisk. Hands at your sides. 15 transitions. Move slow. Breathe deep. Asterisk, asterisk. Day 22, 28, asterisk, asterisk. No ottoman. 20 transitions. Woven into life, sit on the floor to fold laundry. To call the dog. Tortilla your shoes. Robert removed the ottoman in week 4. He sent me a video, him lowering to the rug. Sitting cross-legged to read Emma a story. Then, rising in one fluid motion, no hands. No wobble. Emma clapped like it was magic. He winked at the camera. Brain fog's on vacation. Your brain doesn't need pills to stay sharp. It needs problems to solve. Every trip to the floor is a question times. How do I get back up? Times. Answer it 20 times a day. And watch the answers get easier, and your memory along with them. And once your legs and mind are in conversation, we're going to hand you a towel and 2 minutes. That adds 7 healthy years. Lighting up both sides of your brain like fireworks. Stay with me. I want to let you in on the secret. I guard closer than any prescription pad, every sunrise. Before my coffee's even poured. I stand in my kitchen with a simple hand towel and twist my way to morning. At 86, I still see patients on Tuesdays, still squat lower than my nurse, and still beat my 50-year-old son in grip strength contests at Thanksgiving. The towel is my fountain of youth, and today it becomes yours. Let me take you to the moment this movement chose me. I was 78, on a medical exchange in Taku, watching a room of centenarians average, age 102, twist rolled towels with the calm focus of monks. Their hands were steady, their eyes bright, their laughter easy. One woman, Hana, grasped my wrist with fingers that felt like warm steel. Towel keeps the fire inside, she said through a translator. I laughed until I saw the brain scans. Researchers there had followed 15,000 seniors for 20 years. The ones who twisted a towel for 2 minutes daily lived 7 healthy years longer. 7. Not bedridden years dancing, gardening, grandkid chasing years. Their grip strength, the single best predictor of how long you'll stay independent, held steady into their 90s. And the scans. Both brain hemispheres lit up like the 4th of July, forging new neural highways where memory, balance, and joy travel freely. The magic isn't the towel. It's what happens when you pull it apart while twisting. Every muscle, from your fingertips to your toes, fires in concert. Your body releases myokines, little hormone messengers that sweep inflammation from your joints, sharpen insulin's work in your cells, and sprout fresh brain cells like spring grass. 1 minute in the morning wakes your nervous system. 1 minute at night tucks inflammation into bed. Here's the exact ritual I teach every patient, and I want you to do it with me right now. Grab any hand towel from your linen closet. Roll it tight, like you're wringing out a sponge. Hold it horizontally at shoulder height, hands 18 inches apart. Elbows soft. Now pull outward with everything you've got, like you're trying to rip the towel in half. Don't let it budge. Create unbreakable tension. That's the engine. Keep that pull and slowly twist your torso to the right, leading with your ribcage. Hips staying forward. Go until you feel the stretch across your chest and the squeeze in your core. Hold for 3 slow breaths. Inhale nose. Exhale. Mouth. Return to center. Still pulling. Now twist left. Same gentle power. Same 3 breaths. That's 1 rep. We'll flow through 10. 1 minute total. Morning version. Stand tall. Feet rooted. Eyes soft on the horizon. Pull. Twist right, hold center. Left, hold center. Feel the energy rise like coffee brewing in your veins. Night version. Sit on the edge of your bed. Same pull. Same twists. But slower. Like you're stirring warm honey. Let the day's tension melt with each exhale. I do mine at the kitchen counter while the kettle hums. My son walked in last month. I tried to match my grip on the dynamometer we keep for fun. The needle stopped at 78 pounds for me. 72 for him. He shook his head. Mom, that's not fair. I winked. Towel's been my trainer longer than you've been alive. Start tomorrow. 1 minute when you wake. 1. Before sleep. Roll the towel tonight and leave it on your nightstand. Your silent alarm clock to youth. Week 1. Focus on the pull. Week 2. Deepen the twist. Week 3. Close your eyes and feel the balance bloom. Week 4. Smile while you do it. Your cells are listening. This is an exercise. It's a conversation with every cell in your body, and they answer back with youth. You've walked slowly, flowed gently, squatted deeply, balanced bravely, and danced with the floor. Now 1 towel ties it all together. Adding years you can feel. 6 movement. 30 minutes total. Woven into the fabric of your day. Your body is ready. Your future is waiting. In our final moments together, let's gather these gifts. Wrap them in a promise. And send you out stronger than you came. Stay with me. We've walked a quiet path together today. From the first slow steps of Sampo at sunrise to the final twist of a towel at moonlight, 6 movement. No equipment. Less than 30 minutes scattered through your day, yet they hold the power to sustain strength. Flexibility. Balance. Brain health. And the sweet independence that lets you live in your own home, on your own terms. Margaret is dancing again. Her walker. Long forgotten. Harold canceled hip surgery and planted tulips with his great-granddaughter. Linda hikes wooded trails without fear. And I, at 86, still squat lower than my nurse on Tuesday mornings, proving the body keeps its promises when we keep ours. You've seen the science, felt the gentle demos, and met the real people whose lives turned on these simple habits. Now the path is yours. Start with just one movement tomorrow, maybe the 3-minute wake-up flow. Maybe the one-leg balance while brushing teeth. Maybe the towel twist that adds 7 healthy years. One is enough to begin the conversation with your body. It's been waiting. I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me your age, your city, which movement you'll try first, and one daily struggle you're ready to leave behind. I read every single one, and I'll reply with a personal tip just for you. Hit that like button if you believe 80 is the new 60. Subscribe and tap the bell. Next week, we're sharing 5 foods that quiet joint pain in 14 days. This is Dr. Plate. Hope. Still practicing. Still moving. Still believing in you. I'll see you in the comments. And I'll see you stronger tomorrow.